I want you to get together.
Hello everyone. Today we're going to explore some traditional folk rituals of southwest India, and more importantly, the clown-like characteristics shown within their representations of ancestor and underworld spirits. The Theyyum is a ritual which is held within the region of Kerala. Theyyum is characterized by the use of elaborate crowned masks that represent particular deities. The word Theyyum is derived from Sanskrit Devam, referring to a mythological ancestor, a local Hindu god or goddess, a hero, an animal, or force of nature. The term is also used to refer to the performance itself. There are over 600 kinds of Theyyum rituals performed today, primarily by the Dalit communities. However, there are approximately 400 types of Theyyum deities, which are venerated in these rituals. The Theyyum is believed to manifest the physical presence of a deity, with each deity requiring a different kind of ritual. The belief system around the deities can be two kinds, directly connected to the Hindu pantheon, or derived from the folk tales and stories of people who were later deified. There is a historical document that talks about the origin of the ritual of the Theyyum. It goes like this, that Parasurama, the sixth incarnation of Lord Vishnu, who stemmed the advancing sea flood to save the land of Kerala, sanctioned festivals to the people of the North Malabar region. Theyyum originated from one festival called the Kaliyatam. The indigenous tribal communities were handed over the responsibility to perform the Theyyum by the god. These tribes included Malaya, Anar, Vanan, and Vilan literature. Sangam traditions say that Vilan was employed by mothers of lovelorn girls to exorcise the spirits from their daughters. All rituals described in the Sangam works and their commentaries are being observed by the Velan and other dancing communities. The dance of the Velan community had taken new forms and developed into the present-day cult of Theyyum, and it took over a period of 1,500 years. This uninterrupted continuity of Sangam traditions makes the Theyyum a prominent religious system of North Kerala. There are evidences that stand testimony to the fact that this folk religion contains traits that might have originated during the earliest periods of Neolithic expression, as the Sangam origin story is only one of many. Theyyum is representative of a form of Hinduism practiced by the tribal communities since time immemorial. The Sattvic rituals practiced by the Brahmins within temples coexisted with this tribal form of worship, which involved liquor and meat as offerings to God. The main performer, who will embody the deity, begins to observe a lifestyle of abstinence about 2 weeks before the ritual commences. The location of the performance is typically conveyed through word of mouth. It may last between 3 to 6 days, each of which is dedicated to a different stage of the rituals. On the first day, the performer gives a ritual prayer song, where the performer then wears a small part of the ritual crown. The painting of the face and the body is undertaken the next day. The performer also wears half of the designated outfit and half the crown. On the third day of the ritual, the performer then wears the rest of the crown, thus completing his transformation into the depicted deity. The performer, embodying the deity, recites from a litany of prayer songs as an intensity of music steadily increases. He strikes his body with sharp swords, participates in further ritual singing and chanting, and recites prophecies and spells to ward away evil and bad luck, granting blessings to the participants. The celebrations involve members from the entire community, invited to participate according to their status in the social structure. Certain Theyyums might include audience participation, wherein the Theyyum might chase or directly interact with them. The actual origin of this form is unclear. Theyyum rituals have been associated with tantric rites and performances due to the use of offerings of blood and meat. It has also been suggested that the Theyyum may have emerged from either a pagan fertility cult of pre-modern agrarian societies, or from cults of hero worship dating back to the Sangam period, as mentioned earlier. On many occasions, animals are sacrificed to appease the god and goddess. In one of the Theyyums, the performer can be seen biting the head off a chicken. If a villager offers the performer a chicken as a gift to the gods, it would be considered rude and inappropriate for the performer not to accept the offering, as he is the deity. Modern scholars condemn the slaughter of animals, but the believers say that the sacrifices are part of the tradition followed since time immemorial. As you can see, the outfit worn by the performers to represent these ancestral spirits and deities of the spirit world have a very peculiar aesthetic. We can see a colourful palette of reds and oranges mixed with exaggerated noses, eyes and mouths through the use of black paint. Tusks are often present, not dissimilar from the representations of demons and monsters portrayed in the artworks and sculptures of cultures found on every continent. I contend that these are just another representation of hybrid creatures and Nephilim kings that ruled the antediluvian age, the true ancestors of these people's culture and pagan practices, masquerading as benevolent family members, heroes of old, and leaders. Remember that over 600 rituals representing over 400 different deities happen in this place every year at large, and throughout the year in smaller personal rituals. This is a huge opportunity for the disembodied spirits of the Nephilim to manifest into the physical through willing vessels, to experience the pleasures of the flesh once more. They will tell the people doing these rituals literally anything to make sure that they keep performing the ritual and bringing the spirits back into the physical realm that they crave to experience so much. Another ritual performed in the same southwestern region is called the Buta Kola. The Buta Kola, also referred to as the Devakola or Nema, is a shamanistic ritual dance performance prevalent among the Hindus of the Tulunadu of the northern Kerala. The dance is highly stylized and performed as part of a worship of local deities. The Butacola is closely related to the Theyyum, which we just discussed. The word is derived from Buta, which is Tulu for spirit or deity, but this has its Sanskrit roots in a meaning of free elements, which is purified, fit, proper, true, past, and creatures. So that's a lot of meanings for one word. The second half, the word kola, is Tulu for play, performance, festival, or form. So this could be reinterpreted, the Butacola, as the past creatures festival. So this Butacola, or Nema, is typically an annual ritual performance where local spirits, or deities, are being channeled by ritual specialists from certain scheduled communities. The Buta cult is prevalent among the Tuluvas of the Tulunadu region. The word kola is conventionally reserved for the worship of a single spirit, whereas the word nema involves the channeling of several spirits in hierarchical order. In kolas and nemas, family and village disputes are referred to the spirit for mediation and adjudication. People believe that the neglect of the spirits will make their life miserable. Even though they may have changed, Buta Kola and Diva Nema still serve secular as well as religious purposes. In fact, the two cannot be separated in a world where the tangible is suffused with the intangible, as the cosmology underlying this suggests. The very order of the human world and the order of the spirit world are interdependent. The Butas and Devas are not worshipped on a daily basis like mainstream Hindu gods. Their worship is restricted to annual ritual festivals. The ritual is performed for the purposeful possession of a medium by the spirit. As the medium begins to dance, the spirit enters his body. Two people hold torches along with the medium at all times. Thus, the entrance of the spirit into this world is restrained. The medium's dance gains more force as the possession continues. He brings the torches dangerously close to his body. The Jajman now stands in a ritualistic circle on the ground, with his assistants, and offerings are made to the spirit. These offerings often include the sacrifice of a chicken whose blood is sprinkled on the ground to enhance the fertility of the land. These sacrificial acts are followed by offerings of rice and coconut. In the subsequent court of justice, the spirit is approached by the villagers for blessings or asked to help resolve conflicts, and the spirit's word and judgment on these conflicts within the village is considered final. The art of being a channel or medium is learnt by young boys belonging to specific tribes and castes. They attend the rituals where their kin is performing, and they help out with the shredding of coconut leaves to make the garments for the medium, holding up the mirror while the medium puts on his makeup, etc., etc. They learn the art of the performance by observing and watching their kin perform it, and then they attempt to mimic it. Along with being able to mimic the way their kin performs, what is truly essential to be a successful channel is also the aptitude of being possessed by the deity. There are certain rules that the channel medium needs to follow to prepare his body for possession. This may include being a vegetarian and not drinking alcohol. The channel/medium feels the sudden spirit possession only for a few seconds. But after that, he's filled with the deity's energy that lets him behave as the deity for the entire ritual. This is just another example of the same ritual performed by shamans on every continent on the earth, just with a different culturally specific aesthetic laid on top of it. These rituals are not part of the traditional Hindu religion, but rather a part of an older animistic cult that venerated otherworldly spirits and nature. The main tenets of this practice posit that there is a world of man and a world of nature, order and chaos, along with a spirit realm, which is the mirror of the chaos of nature. If man is out of balance with nature, this will make the spirits become vicious towards humanity, as nature and the spirit realm are one. As long as mankind shows the spirit beings and nature the proper respect, with sacrifice and ritualistic veneration, they will not be attacked by the spirits. In identical fashion to the Mudang shamans of South Korea, these mediums are often hired by wealthy people to perform the summoning possession rituals all year round in private home visits. They then consult the spirits through the medium to gain knowledge, information, and advice on how to live or resolve conflict. As we have seen, the stylistic choice of the Theyyum and the Butacola mediums when recreating an image of the creatures from the spirit realm follow the same aesthetical archetypes of the clown. Makeup, use of multicolored ribbons, stripes, sequins, mirrors, polka dots, arm, wrist and neck frills, multicolored face paint, often exaggerating the mouth to have wide red lips or the tongue sticking out. Some representations include a red nose. The headdress of the crown or the flowers around the head mimics the bright red hair of clowns, something that is synonymous with Nephilim themselves. As the clown was originally stylized from the European representations of mythical monsters, known as wild men, it's hardly surprising that we have yet another example of the same monsters that dominated the world within another folk tradition in a different geographical location. For as long as I've been doing this now, I suppose I've never really made it overtly clear what I mean when I say the Nephilim look like clowns. I have repeated the phrase, the clown is simply a Western caricature of the physical characteristics of giants, known as the Nephilim in the past, otherwise known as demonic spirits in the present. Though I've said this, I haven't really emphasized the point that the bat-winged, dark angel with red skin with horns and a pitchfork image of a demon, the one we get from mainstream media representations, are dull and incorrect. The Nephilim were psychedelic, bright and colourfully patterned, lizard-bird-human hybrid giants, with wild and brilliantly terrifying features, such as bright glowing eyes, wide toothy grins, peacock-like plumage, a supernatural aura of psychedelic energy. These beings were known as the Shining Ones. They also had adder-like patterned skin and supernatural and brutal speed and strength. Some had many arms, some had wings, while others were slightly closer to human in shape, but still grossly alien in visage. This also means that the mainstream Christianity image of Nephilim giants simply being tall and super ripped, but otherwise ordinary human-looking things, is also simply false. And we know this by examining the folk traditional rituals that have survived the passage of time relatively unchanged. These are traditions from the ancient past in which these beings still existed and were worshipped as kings and gods. These rituals show us an image of these beings as originally witnessed by the first peoples who lived among them. The modern tribes still continue to evoke and sacrifice to them by dressing like them with decorative ritual garb, masks, and makeup. From that understanding, it really makes you wonder what people are unwittingly doing when they dress like a clown in the West. Thanks for listening, guys. If you like what you heard, please consider supporting me on Patreon. There's plenty of extra content available for you there for only $5 a month, including an extra video every Friday, snippets of my book, and special announcements for upcoming content. You can also help support me and the book I'm currently writing through the GoFundMe. I also have a Telegram group where you can share with me your feedback and ideas, along with your random finds of clowns in the wild. It's also a good way for you guys to continue the discussion with each other once the live shows have ended. All links are in the description below, and I'll be back live on Sunday, as per usual. As always, guys, thank you and God bless.
I want you to get together.